Hello, my friends. This is Jacob Fiveash here. Today, Nickelodeon nowadays isn't really doing well. They were once one of the biggest empires in animation, biggest channels in animation channels in children's programming. But what caused their downfall? So today I will be kind of explaining kind of the downfall of Nickelodeon and what exactly what they need to do to kind of get themselves back on their feet. Our story begins in 2004 when the SpongeBob SquarePants movie hit theaters. I mean, on a side note, I love the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Like, it's one of my favorite animated movies ever. I would highly recommend it for anyone who loves SpongeBob or any cartoon fanatic such as myself. Now, while this was happening, the late Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, wanted the show to end. But because of the show having extremely high ratings, like this high, Nickelodeon refused, and as a result, Hillenburg left the show and put Paul Tibbitt in charge, which led to the post-movie era. Basically, the post-movie era basically changed a lot of things. Although the first few episodes of season 4 were good, it's just that when the infamous episode Good Neighbors aired, everyone found out, hey, SpongeBob's not good anymore. Let's watch something else. Basically, SpongeBob became more of an annoying man-child. Squidward became and his obsession with Squidward was amped up. Patrick became more of a bully to SpongeBob than a friend, and also he was a complete jerk in some episodes. Mr. Krabs, probably the worst of them all, became an extremely greedy person, or crab in this case. And in the infamous one-course meal, he almost led Plankton to kill himself. Like, that's very controversial, even in a kid's show. I mean, Pearl, I guess, also changed too. I mean, she became more of a spoiled brat. Plankton, I think, but the only characters I can think of that didn't really personally change were Plankton, Sandy, in my opinion, and Gary, although some people may argue that Sandy has gotten worse. I think that she still remained a little bit of the same, a little bit, like her old self. I mean, I'm not really sure, to be honest. But while this was happening, Nickelodeon had the choice to acquire the rights to one of two shows, Adventure Time or Fanboy and Chum Chum. And they chose Fanboy and Chum Chum for some stupid reason. If Fanboy and Chum Chum is just terrible, like, it was just a huge disgrace to Nickelodeon. If they were to acquire a different show, like, that was actually good, Fanboy and Chum Chum would have never existed. Like, it also would be interesting if they acquired Adventure Time. Although I wonder what would happen if they acquired Adventure Time. Anyways, in the 2010s, Dan Schneider came to Nickelodeon and he screwed everything up. Dan Schneider, he basically, his shows were just cheaply made. They had an annoying laugh track, and although the Thundermans, and the worst part of it all is that Henry Danger and the Thundermans felt like good ideas. It's just that they were just ruined. Not to mention is that that off camera, Dan Schneider was doing some pretty illegal activities, and he was known for having a huge temper. Oh boy, Schneider, calm down. But the good news is Schneider left to Nickelodeon in 2018. Also, Butch Hartman, the creator of The Fairly OddParents and Danny Phantom, wanted The Fairly OddParents to end somewhere around its 5th season. But Nickelodeon, being the greedy company that they are, refused. And as a result, The Fairly OddParents continued for a total of 10 seasons, but it really started to go downhill by adding new characters such as Sparky, Chloe, and Poof. the point is that after all that in 2018, things still got a little worse. All, or, Nickelodeon's. I mean, there were even attempts to try and make more animated shows, but either A, they were considered bad, B, they were good but suffered from low ratings, or C, all of the above. Both reason this resulted in anything that is not SpongeBob to be moved over to Nicktoons, and where they can wait until their supposed demise. But what's even worse is that when Steven Hillenburg died in November of 2018, Nickelodeon decided to make a SpongeBob spin-off. I mean, before all this happened, Steven Hillenburg returned to the show in the middle of season 9, helped make the second movie, and managed to breathe life back into SpongeBob. Which, in other words, season 10, 11, and 12 were actually really good, with a few hiccups. But when Steven Hillenburg was alive, he didn't want any spin-offs, crossovers, or aging down characters. And as a result, Steven Hillenburg, when of his death, Nickelodeon, being the greedy people that they are, decided to make SpongeBob a Camp Coral spin-off and a Patrick spinoff. Why? Just why? And you know what's even worse? Nickelodeon is just not doing... Another reason why Nickelodeon isn't doing well is because they're not really focusing more on animated content. If I was ever the president of Nickelodeon, I feel like would probably focus more on animated content, because nowadays animated content is the only way to go. Like, if they want to put themselves back on their feet, they gotta get rid of Teen Nick, because for obvious Nicktoons, for obvious reasons. Cancel reasons. Add more, make more shows that are actually good. Axe the channel's live action schedule. And finally, try and focus more on animated content in general. Like, if this continues, Nickelodeon is going to get shut down in favor of CBS All Access. So, do you think Nickelodeon should focus more on animated content? And do you also think maybe that they need help? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Peace.